I know my hair looks like crap. I apologize. So I wanted to do a video kind of just talking about something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while now. Um, um, and I have been trying to find the right way to talk about it without pissing everyone off because my problem is it's not, I don't really know if it's a problem, but it's something that like I go through is that when there's a situation, especially when it's a controversial topic, I always have like mixed feelings about it because I feel like I understand why people are either for it or against it because I understand like both sides to it. I understand the I get it where people are coming from, but then at the same time I don't because I feel like I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of complicated issues with this subject. And I might break this up into like a two-parter or three-parter, however long it takes, but um I think I think the problem is because I've talked about privilege before, I'm pretty sure. If not, then this is a whole new thing. But my problem with this privilege um like situation is like is that it's not everyone, okay? It's not every single video, it's not every single like social experiment or just like whatever, but 9 times out of 10, it's they always emphasize that black people don't have privilege. And my thing is, I'm not saying that's not true. I'm not saying, oh, you know what, this is getting annoying. Like, it's all blah blah blah. I'm not saying that. I get it. You know, I get it. There are a lot of black people, or not even a lot, but there are black people that don't have as much privilege as white people or just anybody in general. But my problem with that is that when they do these kind of videos, in my mind, when I watch it, it's like, okay, I get it, but you're just emphasizing the fact and making these people feel that don't have as much privilege as like other people that I don't know. Like I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to say because I understand that what I'm talking about is a very sensitive subject for a lot of people, and I'm really not trying to come off as an asshole, but I know that I probably will. So I'm trying to figure this out because my thing is that people that have or people that don't have privilege, I get it. It's hard. I grew up with probably all the privilege you could ask for. Okay, I watched this video from I think it's from College Kids React, and they were reacting to another video they were doing, basically where they had these people. This guy had $100 bill, and he basically was asking them these typical questions of what privilege is, what people that have these certain things like have whatever. They're asking them questions of things, and then if they were like answered yes to that question, they were able to move forward. So basically, they were asking them, they were like, oh, are your parents still married? Then they were able to take 2 steps forward, and then they were asking about like, if they had access to a tutor, if they had access to private school, if they had access, they didn't have to worry about their phone being shut off, they didn't have to worry about where their next meal was coming, if they didn't have to worry about, if they didn't have to help their parents pay bills. Like, they just kept asking them all these questions. And so, of course, a lot of people, not a lot of people, but there were people that were like all the way at the front because they had that, they had all, they had all that privilege basically. And the problem with that, my problem with that is that I like that video because it wasn't like, it showed every race. And I like that because it wasn't just specific to one race, because some of the videos I've seen, it's just like all one race, which is stupid because that's like not even true. Like, my thing is, just because you're white doesn't mean that you're gonna have all of that. And just because you're black doesn't mean you won't. That's my whole thing, is that I've known white people, okay, people that, are of different ethnicities, Mexican, Asian, whatever, that basically would have been in the front of that challenge. They would have been, in the back. Like, they would have been, like, they wouldn't have taken one step because their parents were divorced. They had to help their parents with bills and money. They probably most likely always had their phone shut off if they even had one. They basically had to eat out of the trash. Like, my best friend, not putting her business out there, but that was all her, and she was white as white can be. Like, she was, she's full Italian. I don't know. She looks like she is. But anyway, she's white as like hell, you guys. Like, she's white as hell. And she would have been in the front. Like, in the back, she wouldn't have made one step from those questions because her phone was constantly being shut off. She had to eat out of the trash because her mom was a drug addict and would spend all her money that she would get on drugs. So my best friend, would have to go around to different trash cans and eat food out of there because she had no money for food. And granted, she was 15. Okay, so this isn't like she was 18 years old and could get a job. Okay, this isn't what I'm trying to get at here. And she would have to help her mom with bills. Her phone would be shut off. She wouldn't have made shit. And and then, my wife, she had a lot. She had a lot of stuff. And, I know she, she's part black. She's not full black, but she's part black. She had a lot of stuff, and she even said it. She never had to worry about when, that she wasn't going to eat. She didn't have to worry about her phone being shut off. Her parents are, okay, parents aren't, whatever. But anyway, her parents are together technically. And so, and back then she had access to these things. Maybe not to all of them as I have, but she still had access. And the thing is that everybody is either going to have privilege or they're not. Privilege is a very weird word because it's so vague. There's so many things that could dictate whether you have privilege or not. My thing is that you have privilege whether you're alive. That's my thing, is that if you are alive and breathing, you have privilege. You can go out there, and my thing is that, coming from me, I might sound like, oh my God, Ava, you grew up with everything. You had anything you wanted, you got it. You didn't have to worry about this stuff, so shut the hell up. You don't understand what it is, what it's like for a person who didn't have everything that you had. And I get that. I understand me talking about this probably pisses a lot of people off that don't have privilege or didn't have privilege, and they had to struggle through life. I get it, and I get that with the things that I did in my life when I was a teenager. I put that struggle on myself. My choice to do all that crazy shit that I ended up doing as a teenager, I did that myself. I didn't have to put myself in that situation to get money from my parents. I didn't have to put myself in that position to get food or to get um, money for my cell phone or money for school. I didn't have to. I did that because I was being an idiot, and I will admit to that. But because of experiences, I know that you are as strong as you feel. You are as strong as you tell yourself. And if you let people tell you you have no privilege, you're going to believe you don't have privilege. That's my opinion. Like, regardless if I had all this shit growing up or if I didn't have all this shit growing up, you can make your own privilege. And I think that's the problem with people, is that they 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 make all these people that stereotypically don't have privilege, make them feel weak, like they can't do anything. Like, people that have access to all this shit are just gonna get so far ahead in life, and you are not. So the people that have privilege have to get up there for them and then give them the money. And that's my problem. That's what some of the things that's how they sound. And I don't think that that's what they're trying to get at, but that's how I interpret it. That's how it sounds to me. Like, you have privilege, so you could get farther up the ladder, and then it's your job to help people that don't have privilege. No, it is your job. It's not your job to do that. It's your job to understand that you have the privilege to have the accessibility to these things. Like, if you have the ability to go to a private school, if you have the ability to get through college and be able to do all these things. But what people don't realize is that a lot of these people that have so-called privilege, at least half are working at, like, grocery stores, like me. Okay? That's the thing, is that there's people that have so much more privilege than I do, or less than I do, and people that have more than me are doing less than I am, and people that have less than me are doing more than I have. That's the thing. It's all about willpower. It has nothing to do with privilege. If you want to get ahead in life, you have to be the one to get ahead in life. People are always saying, it's not about your family. It's not about how you were raised. It's not about how you grew up. It's about you getting up and telling yourself that you can do it. And that's the problem, is that people say that, but then they go back to this privilege bullshit, and they're like, oh, well, they don't have privilege, so they're not going to be able to do shit. No, you hear about these stories where people literally come from nothing. They come from another country, or they're from here, but they just don't have shit because their parents are pieces of shit, or maybe they're not, they just don't have money. I don't know the case, but they don't have anything. And they go to school, they find a way, they work, they go to school, and they become very successful people. It doesn't happen to everyone, but you push yourself. That's the problem, is that you have to push yourself. And that's what I've been doing. I've been pushing myself because everyone needs to, whether you have privilege or not, everyone should try to be the most successful that you can be as a person. And everyone's success rate is different than others. Some people are going to be more successful than others. That's just how it is. It's not, I don't know, it's not a thing. It's just like people are trying to make it a thing. People are like, oh, well, if you're black, then you're stereotypically going to be more unsuccessful than someone who's white. Or if you're a female, you're stereotypically going to be more unsuccessful than if you were a guy. And that's literally not true. People make it a thing because they want something to bitch about. That's the problem, is that people make it a thing because they want to complain that they don't have shit. And it's like, that is your fault. Okay, my thing is, I get it. Okay, I get it. You grew up in a family that didn't have anything. But that should drive you to want to do things. If you came from shit and you had absolutely nothing in life and you had to go through all this heartache, you would think that would make you want to do things in life. I don't understand why people have nothing and they continue to have nothing and they continue to do nothing with their lives after they become an adult. Hello? Like, what? Like, that just does not make any sense to me. Like, I get it. I get it if you have, if you're a kid, okay, or a teenager, or whatever, but you're a child and your parents have the money to provide all of these things for you for education and everything else because they have the money, because they worked hard to get that money for you. And my thing is that my mom did not have privilege when she was growing up. My mom had to pay her way through school. She had to get a job to provide that money for her education. She had to get money to pay for her parents. There were no cell phones back then, so that doesn't count. But I'm just saying, like, my mom had to work at a very young age, and so did my dad. Like, they didn't have privilege. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, my dad was able to go to school because of his dad, but I mean, still, like, they didn't have as much privilege as I had. And because they worked hard to get there, they were able to give me everything that I needed. And it was my choice to abuse that and to not take advantage of it. That was my fault. That had nothing to do with me having privilege or not having privilege. It had to do with me being an idiot. And it's that simple. And I think the thing is that we need to start, yes, the people that have money, we do need to help, like, fund these facilities that can help give access to these people that don't have money. You know, like, I get it. People are going to struggle. People are going to have hard times. They're not going to have money. And all that stuff. And yeah, we should, as good people, should help, you know, to an extent. But my thing is that I'm not going to work all my ass off up the ladder, do everything that I have to do to get up in life just to pay for these people that don't want to do shit. I will help anyone that wants to move up in life. If you want to be successful and you want to go somewhere with yourself and in your life and all that stuff, I will be more than happy to help you. But these people that claim to not have privilege and blame everybody else for their problems and sit at home and suck welfare dry, fuck you. And that's just my opinion. I think it's stupid that, you know, and they're the same people that claim they don't have privilege, and I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, that's annoying as hell. But I don't know. I think I'm just frustrated with a lot of things with that subject because there's a whole heap of shit that I could talk about when it comes to that because I want to make this clear though. I'm not dissing anybody. I'm not trying to make it sound like I just, I don't want people I don't want to feel like I can't have an opinion because when I grew up, I had access to a lot of things, that I was able to do things that other people couldn't do. And I do appreciate everything that I had. I honestly do. And back then I didn't care because it was natural to me. But when you're a teenager and you get all this shit, of course, not every, like, a lot of teenagers are gonna be like, okay, whatever, you know. And so of course I was like, whatever back then. But now I appreciate everything that my parents like gave me, because I could I I could have not had that. I could have been a struggling kid that had to, like my best friend, eat out of the trash can, or had druggy parents that, whatever. I could have gone through that, but I didn't. I had it pretty damn good. And yes, I had stuff going on at home and at school other than that whole aspect that wasn't good, but I never had to go without, you know. And I get it. People are gonna give me backlash and be like, "Oh my god, look at this privileged white girl. She can, look at her opinion on something she has absolutely no idea that she's talking about." And I mean, you know what? That's fine. If that's how you feel, that's great. Everybody has a right to their opinion, just like I have a right to mine that I'm telling you now. But my whole moral of this story that I am speaking of is that, yes, privilege is a thing, and people do have more than others, but people that don't have privilege can get it. Just because you went through a bad childhood and you didn't have shit doesn't mean that you can't get that when you grow up. You don't have to go down that path of drugs and prostituting yourself and um and getting into a gang. You don't have to do that. I know it's the easy way because it's the easiest way to make money, and I understand that, but the easiest way isn't always the best way, and it can really screw up your life. Okay, I know that. All right, I get it. It is not a good thing to do. What you need to do is not follow what everyone else is doing. Get up off your ass, go to school, learn everything that you can. And I'm telling you this because I didn't do it. I would have loved for someone to be like, bitch slap me, and been like, wake up. You need to get your shit done. Go to school, take in everything that you need to do, graduate, go to college to get a really good career that you can make a lot of money in. That way, you're successful, and then when you get up there, then you can help people. You can help give people willpower. You can help, like, what's the word? Inspire people to do things. And that's what I try to do. Yes, I work at a freaking Albertsons. I'm not a millionaire, but I know the basics of what you have to do to at least not have to struggle. And I don't have to struggle. I'm still not struggling. I have the great privilege of being able to live under my dad's roof. And that saves me a lot of money. I have I have a good paying job. I have insurance. I have things. I have a TV. I have game systems. I have a phone. I have, like, a roof over my head. I have food. I don't have to worry about where my next meal's coming from. I don't have to worry about any of that. And yes, I pay for all that crap. But the point is that I have money to pay for that. That's the thing. I have the money. And I just want to give out a message to people that don't have a lot going on, for these kids, these teenagers that are going through everything, going through a lot of this stuff with their families that don't have much. but want everything, just work for it. That's all you have to do. You literally just push yourself. And when you get and you hit a spot and you hit a rock and you feel like you're not going anywhere, and you're plateauing in life, you just have to understand that that's not going to last forever. And you have to keep moving. You have to keep pushing forward, and you have to just push yourself. Just even when you feel like you're not going anywhere, just keep doing something that's going to get you to your dream and get you to your career and something to make you successful. You just have to keep going. Don't take the easy way out. It's gonna be hard to get there, but you can do it. You know, like I said, we all have privilege. We all have enough privilege if we're breathing, right? And if we're alive. So as long as you have that, you can do whatever you set your mind to. You know, I mean, you know. So that was my whole rant and me trying to be an inspirational person. And I apologize for anyone out there that is like offended by what I had to say, because I get it. It's a very touchy subject, and you know, I don't want people being, upset about what I had to say, especially with the whole white black thing, because I have no problem with black people, obviously. I think they're amazing people. I think everyone can be amazing. I think there's assholes in every race. I think there's nice people in every race. So I don't have a problem with people. Well, specifically races. I don't have a problem with anybody. But I just want people to be upset about that, because you know, everyone is susceptible to not having privilege, and everyone's susceptible to having privilege. And I don't think people should blame people that have privilege. I think I was an idiot. I had privilege, I didn't give a fuck. But if you understand that you have privilege and you have the access to do things when it comes to schooling and all that stuff, and you can eat and have a phone and all that good crap, but you are still humble and you still help people and try to push people forward, then you're a good person. If you have privilege and you treat everyone like crap and you spend all your money on whatever else and you don't ever help people, and mommy and daddy always hand you everything, then there's a problem there. But yeah, so I just wanted to talk about that a little bit, because it's something that was just kind of like scratching at the surface. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video.